Today we will discuss the object code generation of SIC. Before moving to SIC, let us see the object files generated by the transform assembly. This was the program we have discussed. Which will add two numbers. I hope you are remembering about the assembler directives, data declaration and all. Now we have to analyze the object code of this program generated by the turbo assembler. The last video we have discussed the compilation and this list file generation, etc. This was the object file generated by the assembler. Here we are interested in the addresses generated by the assembler. See, the first data item here is num1. Its address is 0000 and num2 it is 0001, the next byte. The next variable is sum, its address is 0002. Okay, then coming to the code segment, the address of the first instruction is 0000 and next instruction we have the address 0003. So these are the addresses assigned to the instruction data at the time of translation. Then when you link some external libraries to this program, the entire addresses will be changed. That is a linking time address. Okay. Now you got a translation time address. When you are linking, you will get a link time address. Then it is not necessary that your program will be loaded to that exact address range, because the operating system will decide to which area your program should be loaded. So it is the work of the loader to arrange all these addresses according to the memory area assigned to your program. So at the loading time you will get another set of addresses. See, translation addresses, then it will be changed at the linking time. You are getting a link time addresses. Then these addresses will again change at the loading time. Okay. Then do we have any control of this address generation? Suppose the issue occurs when you are using some training kits. Okay, the programmers are allowed to store their program in a specific area of memory. At that time, you have to specify the addresses. Let us see how can we do that. In this program, your data got the addresses 000001, 0002. Okay. And here code is short address 0000, then 0003, 0005, like that. The first instruction took 3 bytes. Here second instruction took only 2 bytes, like that. Okay. Then let us see, can we assign a specific address to the first instruction in the code segment? Then the subsequent addresses will be changed according to that. Is it possible? Let us check that. That is, we are directing the assembler the address of my code segment should start from this value. Okay, that is done by the assembler directive origin. See here, I have mentioned the first byte of my data segment should get the address 03000H, and first instruction in my code segment should get the address 1000H. That is an hexadecimal. Okay. Let us translate this and watch the list file. File name is address my pgm.asm. Okay, so y:/tasm/tasm.exe switch -l. My file is address1.asm. Address-mypgm.asm, since those use 8-bit length file names, it is coming like that. Let us translate this and let us check the list file form. This is the list file. Okay, this is the list file. See, the data segment is started under the address 3000, and the first instruction in the code segment got the address 1000. That is, data segment started at the address 3000 and code segment started at the address 1000. So you can direct the assembler that at the time of translation your data segment should start at this location and your code segment should start at this particular location. Okay, and remember, it is not necessary that this address is fixed. Don't think like that. It should be changed at the time of linking, and your program and this means this instruction will get another set of addresses at the time of loading. Okay, these are the translation time addresses. And one more thing, and you don't think that you need a debugger to watch the output of the assembly language program. Okay, let us check one program, that is a natural number generation. Okay, natnum.exe. So it is asking how many natural numbers you want to generate. I am giving some 30. So 30, 1 to 30 will be generated. If I give some 10, it will generate 1 to 10. So it is not necessary we need a turbo debugger or any debugger to watch the output of an 8086 assembly language program. It can take input, it can print some output on the screen, but the program is a little bit big. Okay, I will show you the program. Okay, this will be the program. Okay, next we will move to the object code generation of SIC. And let us see the object code generation of SIC assembly language programs. Let us revise the mnemonics and the instruction format. So these are the mnemonics used in our program, and see the instruction format. It will take 3 bytes. First 1 byte for opcode, then 1 bit for addressing mode. If this x equal to 0, it is direct addressing. If x equal to 1, it is indirect or index addressing. Then address 15 bits. Okay, let us check an assembly language program. This is our SIC program, and this is a list of mnemonics and the opcode. See, LDX, its opcode is 04. It means 04 means it is represented as 0000 0100. 1 byte. Then LDA, its opcode is 00 JLT 38 TIX 2C LDCH 50 STCH 54. Then coming to our program, suppose you don't are related with 8086. Suppose your first instruction gets the address 0000. See, SIC uses 15-bit address. 15-bit address 0000 means 000 this one. Okay, so 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3, 15-bit address. And this translator assigns continuous addresses for the code and data. Then address of this instruction will be 0000. And what is the address of this instruction? Remember the instruction format. It is this 8-bit of code, then 1 bit addressing mode. When x is equal to 0, it is direct addressing, and x is equal to 0, it is indirect or indexed. Then this is 15-bit address. This is the instruction format. So total 3 bytes. So here the first byte got the address 0000. We can view the memory of SIC as first byte will get the address 0000, second byte will address 0001, 0002. Okay, and the next word will get the address 0003. I can say address of this word is 0000. So here address of this instruction is 0000, and then address of this instruction will be 0003, and address of next instruction will be 006 is 0009, then this one 000C, it is 000C. Then your data area starts. Address of this will be 000C, D and E. These 3 bytes will use to store the mission code of this instruction. The next address C, D, E, and this will be F, and this will be F. Then next, what is the address of this variable? This will consume 11 bytes. Okay, so if you add 11 to 000F, what will you get? 000F plus 11 means it is D. What is F plus D? F, then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 1A. If you add F to B, you will be getting 1A. So it is, so address of next variable will be 00001A. Then address of, so this str2, it also takes 11 bytes. So what is address of the next data? 0. Its address is 001A plus D. What is A plus D? That is A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 5, 1 plus 1, 2, 0, 0. So it will be 0025, 0025. What is the address of the last data? It is a word constant. This 0 also a word constant. This one 0025 plus 3, isn't it? The word length is 3 bytes. So this is 0028. Okay. Now we have assigned the addresses. Okay. The next, let us try to generate the mission codes. Okay. What will be the mission code of LDA 0? LDA 0. LDX 0. What is the mnemonic of LDX? See, our instruction format is opcode, then undecimal, then address. Okay. Our opcode is, so we are filling that. Opcode is 04. LDX is a 04. So 04. What is the addressing mode? Address, direct addressing. If it was indexed or indirect addressing, it will be represented like this. So this is direct addressing, so it is 0. And what is the address? Address of 0. We know the address of 0 is 0025. So with the 15 bit 0025 will be represented. That is 0000, 0100, then 0, this 0, then 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 1. So total 24 bits. So this a block, this one a block, this will form a block. Okay, so it will be 0 4 0 4 0 0 0 sorry 0 0 0 0 2 5. Opcode of LDX0 is 0 0 sorry 0 4 0 0 2 5. So this will give 0 4 0 0 2 5. The next instruction is LDCH STR1 comma X. What is LDCH? Its mnemonic is 50. This is indirect addressing. So 1 should be here. Then address of STR1. What is the address of STR1? It is 0 0 0 F. It is 0 0 0 F. So this will become 5 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 0, then 1, then 3 zeros 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. That is 5 0 8 0 0 F. 5 0 8 0 0 F. Then what is STCH STR2 or this STCH STR2 comma X. STCH it is 54, then it is indirect, so it should be 1. Then what is the address of STR2? It is 0 0 1A. 0 0 1A. So it will be 5 4, then 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1, then A is 1 0 1 0. Okay, so it is 5 4, that is 8 0 0 0 1 8. So it is 5 4 8 0 1 8. 5 4 8 0 1 5 4 8 0 1 8. Then what is the code of TIX 11? TIX 11. What is the opcode of TIX? It is 2C. It is 2C. It is direct addressing, so it is X is 0. Then address of 11 is 0 0 2 8. 0 0 2 8. Okay, so this will be 2C 0 0 2 8. So this is 2C 0 0 to eat. Then what about JLT next? JLT next. What is the opcode of JLT? It is 3. So 3, which is direct addressing. So it is x is 0. Then address of next. Address of next is address of this instruction, it is 0003. So 003 should be a group. So it is 38003. 38003. This is the object code of this program. Then along with this, the data will be coming. The code for T, E, S, P and this remaining characters. Then one block for the variable str2. Then a constant value 0. Then a constant value 11 will be there. So this way we will be generating the object code of SIC program.